Hey, so I wanted to do a video. I don't like to do video haul videos, whatever you want to call them, but I feel like I need to be completely transparent. Now, I hate the 6-inch line of both of these, but I don't know if Jocasta is available in anything else. And for $7.99, I couldn't leave her on the table, literally. But I do love Jocasta, and I remember when she came out in the stores, and I kept seeing her. I'm going, I hate 6-inch, but I love her, but I hate 6-inch. She was a very important person. I always felt like I could relate to her in the comic books. She was always kind of feeling like she was on the outside looking in and wishing she could be part of the team, even though she technically was, but she just always felt like she wasn't. You know, I always felt sorry for her, and I always felt like I could relate to her. You know, she's a machine, but she totally had a soul, I guess you can say, in the comic book. She was always very introspective. So, yeah, I really am glad to have a figure of her, although you know, in my universe, the 6-inch line, I like to pretend like they're gods, basically, like the Egyptian gods or the Roman gods. Not, you're like, well, aren't you a Christian? Yes, but it's called mythology. It's called, you know, pretend, and it's also called Nephilim. But I also like them to be bulkier. But anyway, she's a robot, so I guess it doesn't matter. I always like the way her head looks like a King Tut, or, you know, the pharaohs, the things going inside, and even these look like snakes, like the rattlesnake's tails, so it kind of gave a very Egyptian feel to it. And of course, my favorite character is Zartan. So this is the third figure from the 6-inch line of the G.I. Joes. That I hate the 6-inch line, but I love Zartan. So I do hate one thing about that: his helmet, it doesn't stay on, or his hood, I shouldn't say helmet. It just falls right off so easily, so that's kind of annoying. I wish I had just glued it on, and I'm thinking about it, to be honest with you. I don't know if I can put like a rubber cement that would just kind of stick it there, but you can eventually peel it off if you want to. The articulation feels very gummy to me on these. I don't know, I'd rather have 6-inch or the 4-inch line. I don't see the point in getting bigger figures. It's bigger figures. You're like, well, it's only 6 inches, it's only 2 inches bigger than yeah, but it's, I think I did the math one time. You have to do, basically, it's 3/2 the size of a normal Joe in the 25th anniversary. So you do 3/2 times 3/2 times 3/2, which is 27/8. So it's over 3 times the size, because, you know, 24. It's about 3.5 times the size in volume. So yeah, it may only be a little bit bigger, but overall you could put 3.5 other figures in the same amount of space. That's what you got to look at. And he comes with a backpack that doesn't stay attached very well, which is fine. I'm not going to keep it on him. I don't really care about it. He also came with these hands. They don't look like his hands. I don't think they are. I think they made a mistake, because that does not look like, look how that looks like a woman's werewolf hands. I don't know where this came from. So let me know below if this is supposed to be with him, or if this is a mistake, because that looks like a snake's mouth. He came with his face, his alternative face, which is really creepy because there's no eyelids in it. So if he puts it on, he's going to be eyelidless. Let's see how it looks on him. Let me put on my face, which is what a lot of women say, I know. Yeah, see, he should at least have eyes, because that just looks really creepy. Anyway, I know the Zartan doesn't have eyes either, but anyway, he's supposed to be in disguise, not like no eyes. All right, so as far as the comic books, okay, so I did a quick little one of those shorts videos about it. I didn't go into much detail. So God Smugglers is the most expensive comic book I got there. There was buy 5 get 1 free, and I was going to only get like maybe one comic book at first, but there's so many good ones there, I couldn't resist. This was a place called SSALEFISH at Greensboro. Evidently they got other stores. They need to make one down here. This is from the Spire Christian Comics, 35 cents. So, but I paid $5. It's a true story. It sounds really interesting about smuggling Bibles into Russia, which is something I used to want to do after I got saved. So that's just something I think would be a very good read. I haven't read them yet. I just finally got back down here, trying to settle in. It's the Little Stooges. I don't know why they're little. They're not really that little. They're more like groovy teenagers, man. It's the Wild Wacky Sons of the Three Stooges. Oh, okay. So even then, I didn't read this when I was looking at it first. I thought it was going to be like the teenage, groovy, hippie versions, you know. I think there was the All New Stooges in the 70s, so it may have been a comic adaptation of it. I don't remember it being called the Little Stooges, but I don't know. It's a Whitman, so it's either a reprint or it could be I don't know. See, when I was a kid, Whitman were reprints of DC Comics mostly. So that's very interesting. Donde, now there's a comic. This is the original comic strip of Donde. I found out that there's actually a movie, and it's one of the 10 worst movies of it. It was in 1970s. Sometime they said it was one of the 10 worst movies ever. Whatever. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. It reminds me of a MASH episode or two where there's this kid that's always saying, "Hey Joe, what you know?" And he was just basically as a kid trying to get money off of people when they were in the is that the Korean War or the Vietnam War? I think it was the Korean War, the MASH unit. So it reminded me a lot of that. And then Dennis the Menace Goes to Camp. It's a huge, thick book. Look at that. It was only $3. And I'm like, no way I'm passing this up. Dennis the Menace is awesome. If you're in England and you're seeing this, like, that's not Dennis. England had a different Dennis the Menace. And I don't know if one copied the other, or if they just naturally came about, you know, on their own. It's hard to know because, you know, we've been lied to all our life about Barbie. She was obviously a copy of Bill Lilly, and we always thought she was her own. So, yeah, it's very interesting. So, yeah, Dennis Menace is awesome. It's by Halden Fawcett Comics. So this is a nicely old one, 25 cents. Yeah, I know when you think 25 cents, you're thinking 70s, mid-70s comics. But it's a big, huge 25-cent comic book, so it's even older. I bet you it's 60s. The Mighty Samson. I think the reason that I got this for $4 instead of more is it had writing on it, which I'm completely fine with. Look at the artwork is okay. So there was a lot of artwork that I passed up on, like a lot of Tarzan artwork. I love the Tarzan covers that are painted, but there's something about this one. I was like, man, because I haven't looked at a Mighty Samson comic. I kind of knew they're out there, but I didn't think of much about it. And they had a lot of really good old ones. I wanted to get a lot of different barbarian ones. Some I knew about, some I didn't know about. So I look forward to going back to Mom's. Yeah, this place is right across from the Best Buy. So, yeah, it's Mighty Samson. He's fighting some kind of Muppet with a chicken head on top of it and fangs. It's a really interesting monster. It definitely looks like a hand puppet, like there's a hand inside there. All right, and then I actually got to watch this on the YouTubes. There's about 2 or 3 episodes on YouTube that are really bad quality, but their actual names on there. Scott Lane, the actor that played him, I swear that he was older and in like some other show, like he looks like a younger version of somebody who played in, I can't think of the name of it. What was that island? It's a bunch of people on an island. McHale's Navy. He reminds me of somebody on McHale's Navy or somewhere else like that. But I thought this looked a lot more familiar. But in the comic, on the TV show on YouTube, he looks. I don't know who he is at all. I have no idea. On here, he looks like Vincent Price. I mean, he definitely does. Alan Jocelyn. I need to look this up. But it's McKeever and the Colonel, and this only ran for like 1 season, and a lot of the characters, there's like 3 boys all together. Most of them look like Leave It to Beaver side, like they've been in Leave It to Beaver shows. His second command is Uncle Fester. There's no doubt about that. It's definitely Uncle Fester. Even when I went to comment, somebody else commented already that Uncle Fester was in the army. I mean, yeah, it was definitely Uncle Fester. The woman, if you look at the thumbnail for the video, there's him and a woman sitting at a table. She kind of looks like Marilyn Munster, but not really. I don't know. She looked like any other pretty blonde-haired woman from back then. But this is a 12 center, and I think Dell was the first one to go up more, so this could be really old. It says February, April, but it doesn't give a year. Down at the bottom, 1962. 4-star Harlan. So this is pretty amazing. It's a 1962 comic book, and I got it for $3. That's awesome. So I would gladly take these over like Superman, Spider-Man. These kind of comic books are just, I don't know. There's so much more to them. I think I don't know. It's the adventure of finding something new for me. So let me know what you think. Which one's your favorite comic, or let me know if there is a smaller Jocelyn. I feel like there may have been in the Marvel Universe. Unfortunately, I don't know if I got rid of all those. I feel like I did at one point, and I feel sad about it because I was like, well, they're stopped doing the 4-inch, so they're going to start doing 6-inch. So back then I did the 6-inch, And now that I'm living in a teeny tiny house, if I want any of them, I'd rather have 4-inch. She's got a hole in her back. Does something go in that? But for $7.99, I can make an exception. She'll give you a giant robot, like working throughout the house. I will pick up your stuff. I will fold your clothes. Anyway, and then of course R10. And I don't know which version. There's 3 different versions of him. I'm not sure which version. It's not the Walmart version, which has it looks like he actually has a color change, thing on the front of him. I was holding out for that one, but I was like, well, this one was not. Their sticker fell off him. He was $19.99 loose. And let me know if these are the hands for him, because I don't think those are now. I don't know what these go to now. It's really strange. I almost want to say it's part of some kind of the monkey's paw or something, but what does that attach to? It doesn't look like it attaches to a person. Anyway, let me know below if you know anything about these. I feel like this is part of a TV show called The Monkey's Paw. You know, that curse that if you have 3 wishes and every time he makes a wish, they close one of the fingers. It's been done over and over again to death. Oh, does this knife come out? Oh, it does. It does come out. All right, have a fantastic Saturday. See you guys later.